Hello, hello. Welcome to the Creative Women Wanted podcast. Last week, I had my partner on who is also an artist, and we talked about what it means to be a human first, like before we are artists. And I mentioned that I would be transitioning the podcast to a podcast for all Black women who call themselves artists, who identify with the word artist, because I am on my own journey to becoming a full-time artist. Like, that is what I want to do. And what does that look like for me? It looks like full-time creating the art that I want to make, that the stories that God has given me to create and put out into the world. I would like to create a life out of that. Some people think that like I am a full-time artist because I have a production company and because it's artistic. And I would say that there is a difference between being an artist and creating your own art, right? So in my work with my clients, I am artistic. I get to create things, I get to be creative, right? But at the end of the day, I have to bring to life a vision that they have. I add my touch to it. In creating my own art, I get to literally spend my life and my time creating the stories or bringing to life the stories that I would like to tell. Um, and so that's my mission. That's what I'm on track to do. Like, I've always created my art along the way as I've been building my company and growing my company. I've always created the things that I wanted to create on the side. My duty now, my desire now is to create a full-time income out of that. Like, that's what I want. I want my art to fund my dreams. And I think that I've always desired that, but this year I decided to bet on myself and invest in myself and pivot things and turn things around so that I can actually bring that to life, because I think there's a difference between wanting something and then believing you can have it, right? So I think I've always wanted to, sell a show. I've always wanted to create my own art and make money from the shows and the things that I've created. I've always wanted to do that. Now, I believed that I could sell a show, but I don't know that I believed I could create a life out of my art any other way. I always, well, for the longest time, I felt like the only way to financial freedom in the way that I wanted it to be was going to be first through selling a show. And this year, that whole ideology or that whole way of thinking was tested. Like, I had to really question myself. Um, I had to question myself. Like, I had to figure out, like, is this what I actually want to do? And I'm pivoting. I'm pivoting, and I'll talk more about that next week. But I'm pivoting, and there are so many insecurities that have come up as a result of that pivoting. And I want to talk about those today because they've been heavy on my mind and heavy on my heart. And today I shed a lot of tears, and I've just been feeling a little bit of sadness today and yesterday, because of those insecurities. So as I am preparing to work on something new and to pivot, I've had to deal with my value, like my value being connected to how much I produce. For a long time, I felt like, okay, I need to always be making something, always be producing something. And not necessarily like for social media, but just always putting my art out, always having something new so that my clients could see what it is that I'm capable of. Like, essentially, what I produce would be my marketing material for my clients, especially as I desired to like have more clients in a specific category, like clients that wanted to make shows or docu-series. I was like, okay, I need to make more things that represent what it is that I want to do. So I just always feel like I needed to be doing. And even when I didn't feel like I needed to be creating things, it's like I needed to be busy. I needed to be living. I needed to be exploring. I needed to be out. I needed to be at an event. I needed to be spending time with a friend. Sydney and I needed to be watching this show. Like, I always felt like I needed to be doing something. And so this year, as I pivot, as I've pivoted, I've had to really slow down. And in that slowness, I have had to detach my productivity from my value. And that looked like really being able to sit in the stillness, in the quiet, in the boredom, I guess, really being able to sit and not do anything. Like whenever the feeling would come up this summer, because we moved, so that was a lot. Like, so by the time we moved and got to Texas, I was like, oh my God, I was drained. But I still like, my mind is like telling me, yo, we need to do this, we need to do that. But my body is like, sis, I'm tired. And I made the decision to listen to my body and honor our exhaustion. And so, because of that, because my body was like, sis, I can't do it, I had to really disconnect. I didn't have a choice really, but to disconnect my productivity from my value because I wasn't about to be doing too much anymore. I didn't have the capacity. I was absolutely burnt out. And it was in the stillness, in the quiet, in the, nothingness, I guess you could say, is where I've like slowly detached from that and come to understand like I don't always have to be doing. Like I be chilling. I be chilling so hard now, but that was an insecurity that I had to face is like I'm enough no matter what. I'm enough when I'm not doing anything. I'm enough when I haven't created any art. I'm enough when I'm watching TV for most of the day. I'm enough when I haven't talked to my friends. Like I'm always enough simply because I exist in this world. Like I am enough because I am here. And although it's something that I still, like I still kind of deal with, I'm much I'm in a much better place and much more confident in my stillness, like in my quiet, in the times I'm not doing anything. Now I still compare myself, which is, oof, man, that's kind of what I was dealing with today. But I am comfortable like not doing that thing. So I just be chilling and I love that about myself now. I be chilling. I love chilling with Sydney. I love being with my dogs, like taking walks, spending time with my family. Like I let go of the hustle. I let go of the grind. Like I'm not doing that no more. I'm going to still work and I trust myself so much so I know that whatever needs to get done will get done. I don't got to hustle to do it. I don't gotta grind to do it. I don't gotta do all that. I think the other thing is like I've also reduced my calendar, like or opened up a lot of space on my calendar. I used to be booked in advance for weeks, like every like just such a bulk of my time was calendared with meetings and all just so much to do. But like I think God has been planning this pivot for a while, and I've seeded the idea to him. I've expressed things, and he been planning this pivot for a while. So he just started to slowly be like, "Says, no, ma'am. Let's get this calendar. Let's get uncalendared, honey." And the space on my calendar has allowed me to like just flow. I think the other thing though that is an insecurity that's really hard to see in this slowness though is seeing other people like get jobs and add more people to their credits and release things and share their art and be on television and like just constantly be working with these big brands. Like that's hard to see it was already hard to see even when I felt like I was like doing all these things, but it's even harder for me to see in my stillness, in my quiet, in my slow living. Cause it's like my body is still like, sis, I can't do it. But my mind is like, when we see people doing those things, it's like, okay, well, what can we do? We need to be doing. And, I'm not perfect in that area. It's still very difficult. It's actually something that I was, tearing up about today. Like, man, I'm so scared for what I'm doing next. I'm so nervous. Like it's not, it may not be like it just may not be comparable to like what other people are doing with these brands and that stuff. Ooh, it makes me extremely insecure. It makes me cry. It makes me sad sometimes. Like, even though there are days when, of course, I'm confident in what I'm doing, God gifted me this, He made space for me to do it. Like, this is where I'm going is by His design. I'm being obedient. So I know it's the aligned thing to do, but I still get sad. I still just, it's just so hard sometimes to like see all those things. Today I was like, man, I just sometimes, I'm glad that there are no rules in our industry, but sometimes I wish there were steps that we could follow because like it's such a spiritual journey, being a creative, being an entrepreneur, being an artist. Is such a spiritual journey separate from like, I don't know. It just would be nice to have steps. I have to just trust in the Lord with everything that I have, that what I am doing or what I will do next is going to just really provide me with the desires of my heart. And in the meantime, I have to just sit still, while I see other people just kind of elevate and do their thing. And it's like, I know I'm elevating in my own ways. It's just still hard. I'm just being vulnerable. I'm just sharing the things that I am insecure about. And that made me sad and that made me scared. I think the other thing is, sometimes like sometimes it can feel, good to do things that other people are doing around you. Right? And so or even similar, but in the next phase of my journey, like, I am the only one that's, like, committed to doing what I'm about to do full time, and then to invest in it the way that I have, like, right now, that I am the only person that I'm close to that is doing this, and so it's even more scary and isolating. I mean, Sydney, she's a musician. She definitely understands me. I have great friends that believe in me. Of course, they like hold space for me and they are confident in me when I feel doubtful, when I feel nervous and scared. I appreciate them being for me what I can't be for myself. It is still scary though to do what I want to do next. Like, oh my God, because it's just such a pivot from trying to sell a television show, which is something that I've been focused on for years. In this season, like when things I used to do, when I would be doing something new, I used to just share it with people so early on because I would get excited and I had to learn to protect my seeds because people would just ask all these questions that felt like they were coming from a place of fear for me, like, or they coming from a place of doubt, like they didn't believe in me or they were scared or they didn't know how it would work. And again, like I understand it's projection, but still I'm taking all that energy on. I'm empathetic. So I'm taking all that energy on. And probably at times it caused me to doubt myself. And it's like now I'm in a season of like protecting my seeds until I feel comfortable sharing them with the world, like watering them, repotting them, taking care of them, whatever I need to do before I release it out into the world or before I share it with anybody because I have to protect my ideas. I have to protect my heart's work because people will start to like put their projections on it. So I really keep things close to chest in this season. And it's something I've had to learn because I do get excited. I'd be so excited about my ideas and I'd be wanting to just share them. And I know that like everybody's not going to be as excited as me. And like, I don't really like that sometimes. Sometimes when I'm really excited about something, like I want people to be as excited as me because I be getting excited for people. And I understand like some people are not just people that are like outwardly expressive. Like my partner Sydney, she she is not a person that's like, yes, yeah. She is not that person at all. She'll be like, oh my God, I'm excited for you. Like she's so sweet. But she's just not like outwardly expressive. So that's something I've had to learn. Cause my mom is like very like, yes, oh my God, I love that. So, I've always kind of had that energy from her. Nikki is very like, yes, like I have people in my life who are very like outwardly expressive. But, to share things with people who are just like, "Oh, okay, that's cool," or to not be inquisitive about what I'm doing. Like, I just had to protect all that, protect all my seeds because the things that I would start to tell myself based on someone's reactions were not healthy for me and what I was doing. So it's just, man, like the insecurities are it's tough, but I'm thankful for like time and space to like pay attention to them and to figure out like what is this trying to tell me? What is my fear trying to tell me? What is my jealousy, trying to tell me? What are the things that I like the ways in which I'm comparing myself to people, what is that trying to tell me? Like all of this encourages me to be more introspective and to just deal with it though, because I feel like when these things come up, like being, my value being connected to my productivity or being jealous and seeing people like elevate and do their thing while I'm kind of sitting still, laying low, those are things that I have to make time to deal with, to process, to go through. If not, they're going to sit in my body and like remain unprocessed, and I might start to like develop reactions that reflect that feeling that I have inside, which is jealousy. Instead of just dealing with it, it would now sit in my body, and now some of the way that I move may come from that place of jealousy. But because I process it, right? Like I get to deal with it and understand like, okay, it's because like you want big things for yourself, right? Like you want to elevate too, right? Like you want to keep growing your business as well. That's what some of my jealousy or my comparison, that's what it tells me. But I'm thankful for the stillness and the slowness and the quiet and the boredom, the empty space, because it does allow me to process my feelings so that I can make better decisions for where I want to go. Because I know the same decisions that I've made or the way of thinking that I've had in order to get me here may not necessarily take me there. I got some lessons to learn along the way. And that stillness and that slow living and that quiet and that empty space allows me to really think and be and grow and pause and water and reflect and pivot as needed. So, I'm thankful for the space, and I'm thankful for my insecurities. Like they be having me crying and mad and angry sometimes, but like I know they're only an indication of, the fact that I'm human at the end of the day. So if you like this episode, if it's resonating with you, let me know. Let me know. I'm here doing my best. I wanted to share these feelings with you. Um, Even though there's no video, there's not going to be a video attached to it, but I just wanted to share these feelings with you because they were on my heart heavy today, and I know it's my duty to share. So thank you so much. If you like this episode, if you want to share it with somebody, please do. And please like, subscribe, rate, review, all the things. I'll talk to you soon.